Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. Today we are going to talk about SARMS for women. I should have done this a long time ago. I apologize for that. I've gotten a lot of requests for this video, and rightfully so, so we're going to take on that one today. Before we get started, I just want to tell you all I love you and can't thank you enough for the support. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, share, whatever you can do. Feed that algorithm, help us grow, let us continue to make progress. We're just going to keep pumping content, building the encyclopedia. And, you know, it's just awesome when I see everybody conversing and even talking with each other. And I try to get to everybody, and I see the responses and the, you know, the smiles and the happiness. And it's just awesome. So thank you. Let's keep it going. Today's video sponsored by letsgetchecked.com, my favorite place to get blood testing done. Look, it's simple, it's easy, it's discreet, it's cost effective. I mean, literally, you can't ask for more, and we all know what we go through with getting blood work done. So here's all you do. Go to the website, letsgetchecked.com, pick out your test. There's male and female tests. They do it all, full hormonal, the wellness testing, sexual health, at-home COVID testing. I mean, literally, they do it all. Pick out your kit. Use the coupon code Gemelli30. Save yourself 30% off, by the way. Then pick out how you want it shipped. You can get it overnighted, or else it's going to be priority. You're going to get it fast either way. Depends on your situation. Get the kit. Take the test. Ship it right back. Prepaid envelope. Simple, easy. Results are so fast. They have nurses and doctors there at all times to answer your questions. It's literally seamless and easy. Just remember, Gemelli30, 30% off your entire order. So, let's talk about SARMS for women, okay? I've covered every single SARM for men, and within my SARMS videos, I do always bring up the women's dosing, but, you know, as a woman, sitting there and listening to all of that other one, to have me just go through a little, you know, instance for you on your dosing, you know, you want to learn a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go down the line with the SARMs that are all more mainstream and most widely used. I'm going to tell you if you even should be using it, and if so, what your dosing would be in comparison to a man's dosing. So we're just going to go step by step, and I'm going to start with the more mild ones, because as we get a little higher, there's going to be stuff that I would just say don't ever even consider using. So I'm just going to start from the most commonly used at them and keep going on up. GW 501516. The beauty of that one is, and with GW0742, literally you can run it exactly like a man runs it. Same exact dosing, 20 milligrams a day, dosed once per day. It's a longer half-life. You only need to dose it once a day. What I generally recommend is take it every morning. Some people will tell you that they have any SARM that they take at night interfere with their sleep, and I don't know why. There's really no explanation for that, but just because a few people have had that happen, I just warn against it. You can certainly try it and just see how it affects you, but it's just a lot easier to hit it every morning like that you're dosing. And that's what I recommend with everything, except the ones that need split dosing, which we will, you know, talk about as we go along in the video. Then we're going to SR 9009 and SR 9011. So with the SRs, and I've talked about this if you ever watched my videos, the half-life is a lot shorter with the SRs. So it's going to be multiple times per day dosing. Now, let me put it to you this way. 9011, when it was formulated, it was supposed to be more bioavailable, a little bit longer half-life. So with 9011, it is a slightly longer half-life. And so you can kind of go, I recommend 30 milligrams a day for both 9009 and 9011. You can literally do it 10 milligrams 3 times a day and split it up that way. You know, 6-7 hour dosing if you want to. You can also do that with SR 9009, and it will still be very, very effective. If you want to be the most effective possible with SR 9009, then I would dose 5 milligrams every 2 to 3 hours. Is it going to be a drastic, significant difference? No. Will you get a little bit more out of it by doing it that way? Yes. Is it worth it? That's up to you on how big of a, you know, issue it is, or annoyance, so to speak, to dose it that many times a day. You can get away with either one, and you're going to get great results. We just maybe a little bit better by doing the dosing that way. That's just up to you. But the SRs and the GWs, they're It's exactly identical to a man's dosing. Literally no difference. And you could go up to 16 weeks on those as well. Now, MK2866. This is the one where, as a female, I'm going to have you run a lower dose on my recommendation. So what I would recommend, 12.5 milligrams at least the first couple weeks. Just get your body acclimated to it. There's a few side effects with 2866 on a female that obviously a man wouldn't see because it's affecting your menstrual cycle, possibly, and it could enlarge your clitoris, possibly. So it's not a guarantee. And the one I see more common is the menstrual interruption, where it's either throwing it off or stopping it for a while. It's just off. And so that's something to be aware of. And I'd say just let your body acclimate to it. And then it's up to you. You could bump for the next 10 weeks up to 25 milligrams per day, or you could stick with the 12.5. You're still going to get nice results. You are. You're going to get better results at 25, but you may not feel the need or necessity to even risk that. That's completely up to you, and I'm good either way in terms of what I recommend for you to do. That's always whatever the person feels comfortable with, and you know your body. I don't, nor does anybody else out there advising you anything. So just remember that no matter what I say or anybody else says, that does not necessarily mean that your body going to respond in that manner. It means that it's likely to, but it's not a guarantee. So all that a person that's being honest with you can do is tell you, look, this is what I find and what most people do report that happens to them, but in no way, shape, or form does that mean that it will for you. And that can go on the benefits that you get out of it as well. Most will see this kind of benefit, but some may see more and some may see less. Just like some may really get some nasty side effects with something at an even lower dose, and some can run extravagant amounts and not have an issue. I don't know that, nor does anybody else, so don't let anybody act like that. Everything is a guarantee. It's a probability. Just so I'm being fair and that you understand where I'm coming from. So, yes, the MK2866, don't go over 12 weeks with it. Now, I will tell you this, because women will always say, do I need a post-cycle therapy? Technically, no. What I say is never a bad idea is to just take a nice testosterone booster and run it 4 weeks. Women have testosterone and you don't want to tank it, just like a man has estrogen and does not want to tank it or have an excess amount, just like a female wouldn't. It's just that women need far less testosterone than a man, just like a man needs far less estrogen than a woman. But they both need to be in a suitable position, a healthy position, or you can cause problems. So a test booster with anything that's got slight suppression, certainly not going to hurt you, as long as it's one that's good. And those are, some are hit and miss out there. I can always make recommendations on those. But I would recommend it. It's not a bad idea. S4. So with the S4, I always have women kind of leave it up to you. I have no problem starting at 50 milligrams a day and going up. You could start at 25 milligrams a day and going up. You're not going to see a ton at 25 milligrams, just like a man wouldn't. Women don't seem to be, sometimes a woman runs a lower dose and it's like, whoa, and the man needs far more. But with the S4, it seems to be pretty similar in terms of what you get out of it. But I've seen women do well at 25. There's no way for me to tell you how it can have any effect on your vision. Just like I could tell a man, you're more than welcome to run 25, but you're probably not going to see that much from it. A woman may be more so than a man, but not a ton. So it's up to you. I've put out the video on precisely how to dose your S4 to try to at least mitigate or get around the binding to the I receptor of the S4 metabolite, which can cause you those vision side effects. But there's no way to predict it. It's an impossibility to predict that. It's impossible. It just has a strange effect on everybody in a totally different way. I can dose 100 milligrams and have very little problem. Some people can not dose 50 because they're having issues. So, it is what it is. I'm sorry that that's not a more precise answer, but I've given my best effort to break that down. If you watch How to Properly Dose S4, the Dylan Gemelli method, it's a full explanation in there for you. ACP 105. It's a 20 milligram day dose for a man. On women, I tend to say keep it at 10 and start at 5. the first couple weeks. It's a split dose. It needs to be dosed twice a day. I generally have the dosing about 4 to 6 hours apart. You could take it to 3 doses a day. It's not completely necessary. I don't notice, even though the half-life's a little shorter, I don't notice that huge significant difference because I've tested it both ways when running it personally. If it was really a significant difference, I'd tell you dose it 3 times a day. It's not. Just like with the S4, when I missed that part for you, the S4 is also a split dose of like 4 to 6 hours. So if you're taking 50 milligrams a day, it's a 25 and 25. Now with the ACP, depending on if you're going to go 5 or 10 milligrams, it's a 2.5, 2.5, or a 5 and a 5. The S4 and the ACP are very similar in what they do. ACP just seems to be a little bit stronger and doesn't have the vision side effects. Then there's different sort of benefits, like the S4 is good for prostate, you know, it's shown to be, and they carry their own personal attributes. I've covered these all separately, so I'll leave you to watch those videos for any more like real in-depth direction on the compounds. This is just like a brief cover for you, more so based on the dosing aspect, but both of these are 4 to 6 hour split doses, and you can stretch it to 3 times a day if you'd like. I don't have an issue with you keeping it though where it's at. MK677. Now, I've seen a lot of females want to run MK677 and want to run HGH. One thing I've ran into with the more females that I've coached, spoken with, talked to that want to go this route, they tend to have more water retention on it, and it tends to be an issue. And I'm not exactly sure the real reasoning behind that. I don't know if it's because of the higher amounts of estrogen. I don't know. But I do know that you want to ease into that dosing. For the men, it's 25 milligrams a day. For the women, I would look more so at 5. Maxing out at 12.5. You're not going to need more than that to see the results, but I'd tread lightly at the start, especially too because most women are not wanting to like bulk eat and do these types of things where a lot of men do. And one of the side effects on MK677, at least the first 4 to 6 weeks, is a drastic and intense increase in hunger. So I don't think that that's super suitable. If you can handle it, go for it. And that's why at the 5 milligrams, it's not nearly as heavy in that regard either. That's up to you to try it out. I can't speak for some, and some people want to eat that way, and some people that's like the most last thing that they would ever want to have going on as a female. So, and I know the way I train and what my goals are, I wouldn't want it for me. The one thing though is once you get past that and you run it long term, it's so good for fat loss. It's kind of an anomaly. So it's like, get through that first portion, suck it up, get through it, and then look what comes. But some people don't even want to attempt it. It's up to you. But I would definitely tread lightly on those doses. And you're going to want to run that, 3 to 6 months generally, and to really get the most out of it. So it's more of a longer term thing like an HGH. So keep that in mind as well. Then that brings us to the RADs. RAD 140 and RAD 150. Only difference there is the half-life. So you could feasibly take RAD 150 every other day, but I just prefer to do it every day. So there's really no difference here because it's not like one's better than the other. The dosing's the same. Everything's the same. So they're going to be 12 weeks, just like everything else that I've rattled off has been 12 weeks, except for the GWs, the SRs, and the 677. But all of your SARMs, your S4, your MK2866, your ACP 105, and now your RADs, they're all going to be 12 weeks. All of them are just maxed out at 12 weeks. Your LGDs, your S23, and even S23, well, we'll get to that because even for men, I tell them to maybe go a little less than that, but we'll save that for last. So anyway, 12 weeks, stick with the 12 weeks on those. Now, that's your RADs. Look, 10 milligrams the max I recommend women to run RAD. 5 milligrams is really more suitable, and I would kind of start in that realm and just kind of see how you're doing with it. RADs, you're starting to get stronger now, okay? And so you got to be careful, a lot more careful. So I tread lightly. Then we got your LGDs. So 40-33, I really don't love that for women at all. It's a really strong bulking compound. I mean, it's going to add a lot of size. It's very strong. You can do it. I don't personally recommend it, but I won't tell you that some people haven't done it, because I've seen some women run it successfully, but then I've also seen many not like it. I would go no higher than 5 milligrams a day with the LGD, but more so like the 2.5 range. Tread very lightly if you're intent on doing it. I don't recommend it. Now we're going to get to the ones I don't recommend. YK11 is number one that I do not recommend. LGD 3303 and S23. These three, in no way would I have a woman run these. S23 being the worst. Now, the YK11 has seemed to cause some women some problems, and I don't like it because it has some toxicity there, and I don't find a need or necessity for this in any way, shape, or form for a woman to run. LGD 3303 is highly suppressive, requires a full post-cycle therapy, too strong for a woman to even mess with, completely unnecessary. And S23, I've seen some issues with women that have ran it. Acne problems, deepening of the voice, male attributes. It's essentially it's a steroid. It should be called a steroid, and beyond that, I'm not saying women can't run steroids, but this would not be the one you would want to run. It just wouldn't. So those three I would say completely out. So that is the breakdown of all the mainstream SARMs that are widely used and how to dose them as a woman. I hope that really covered it in depth, and I'm sorry I didn't make this video for you sooner, but hopefully this kind of takes care of a lot of questions that you may have, and it'll give you something to always go back and watch and revert to. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli signing off.